This is from Biafra's Got Talent. We are letting Biafrans know the reason why we should remember those who gave their lives for us, those who died that we may live.
You died to end my suffering. You died fighting for my freedom. Your blood is the seed of redemption. You are my inspiration.
The deed no wrong with them, military shots at them. 67 to 70, we remember them. 2016, 38 May, memory still lives in our mind till today. Wonder why they refuse to publicize the genocide. The world media turn blind eyes to our plight. It's time to arise, land of the rising sun. Let's rise one more time, let's rise.
Yo, we will never forget our fallen heroes, those who gave their life for us. Onitsha massacre, Iwata massacre, Aba massacre. We remember you. Alright.
Tell them I got that day. Remember when me tell you say I got that day. Yeah, I remember that one that called us a Bruce Mero. But the way you cook like a papa nuku. But then the way you know, me tell you what I look pandi, what pandi Samiro, me tell you what I day. For me the plan and the rest of man, I tell you what I am. Me never give up, me tell them
Fallen heroes, I want to promise you something today. We must fight together, no retreat and no surrender. We must hold them down till the end of time. The most important thing is that we will restore Biafra. May your soul rest in peace.
I look up to the sky with tears in my eye. For other Biafrans and for freedom had to die. We will never forget you as the days go by. You are always in my heart, will never be apart. They fought for our freedom, they died for our freedom. They fought the Nigerian soldiers in the war front, without food, without guns, for our freedom, for our life, for our own good, for our children. We love them, our heroes, we want them.
My heart bleeds when I saw them slain. Where will I be now, if not then? They will remain indelible in my heart, forever, 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 and ever, and ever, and ever.
We serve in your plantation, and the way you paid us back with your bloody starvation. We bled in our history, that the death of our people is a mystery. No going back to get to a victory. I had a voice now call for vengeance. I never get bummed, I'ma blow like a vengeance.
Yo, we will never forget our fallen heroes, those who gave their life for us. Onitsha massacre, Iwata massacre, Aba massacre. We remember you. Alright.
Where will I be now? If not you, you died at Mali.
Then we are starved to death because of our freedom, and they paid the debt for our freedom. Flag high for those that died in the genocide, fighting for you and I. There is pain in our heart, we bleeding inside, tears in the eyes of our fallen heroes.
This is for my fallen heroes. Give them a motivation, people. It's like I'm looking at myself in the mirror. Cause to be a cast, I need to be a nurse. If we did not retire,
They paid the ultimate price. They died for the freedom of my unborn child.
represent who we are.
Fight on, brave boys, fight on, heroes of our fatherland. Pursue the enemy, harass him, destroy the invader. March on, brave boys, now that victory is in sight. March on and hasten the disintegration of the enemy already set in motion.
Fighting a war, knowing the difficulties, the odds against us, there is an element of fatalism, people feeling, well, if the world chooses to abandon us, then perhaps it is better we all perish. They don't ever consider a Biafra not free. They believe in either Biafra free or no Biafra at all. That means none of us living to see it.
I need Biafra freedom. We Biafrans, we need Biafra freedom. For this, I decided, even to die, that Biafra must have its own freedom.
I want us to work systematically towards the establishment of a good, progressive and democratic society where all vestiges of privilege and social injustice will be abolished and the rich contribute more for the welfare of the poor. If civil war comes, and I do think it is imminent, you're quite right, it will for us be the price of freedom. Our people here have for a long time been prepared for this eventuality, and I am confident of their readiness. I think that when it does come, that the people on the other side would be surprised as to what they're going to get. And I'm confident that it will not last long.
We'll surely come out as a nation because we're fighting a just cause. Even a little child on the street will tell you this. We shall never go back to Nigeria again. God's grace will surely emerge as a nation. And so, as far as this war continues, we'll fight to the last man.
This is what Biafra is, the end of the journey for a persecuted, massacred, pursued people. We have made all attempts at a democratic resolution of this crisis. I have offered open elections, plebiscite. I have offered just an open carte blanche suggestion, anybody who can find a democratic way of finding out the wishes of the people, let him suggest it and we will go for it.
Another Savior,
holy, 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 Adimebujuku. Another Savior, holy, 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 Adimebujuku. Another Savior, holy, holy.
If you do not believe in what we are doing, then you better get out. We're not going to stop. God knows we can never stop until Biafra is restored. We are peace-loving people. We abhor death and killing of another soul. It's in our nature, that's how we are. But because of that, they have been coming and killing us all these years. We've kept quiet. They've been killing and killing and killing quiet. We have a case at the ICC. We have a case at Africa Union. We have a case of, what else again? Pending before before the UN in New York. We've been to Geneva to tender our case. Before UN, till today, nothing. In fact, the more we complain to them, the more they come to abduct and rape our children, the more they come to kill us, the more they want to take over our land and our forests. And who told them that's going to be possible in our time? In a movement that I lead. You think you can come into our land and take it over? Oh dear.
Welcome. Thank you for joining us this very evening. I welcome every one of you. I wish you a very happy weekend. Happy weekend to everyone that have joined us, wherever you are joining from, whether you are joining us from Biafra land, from Nigeria, Asia, Europe, America, wherever you are connecting from, like and share the program. We have come this evening, as you know, our evening section, we do it differently. And this evening, we are going to conduct our evening program with a very, very powerful interview that was granted in VOP. You know that the battle for the soul of IPOB is still ongoing. The recovery of IPOB is still ongoing. And the sacked DOS are also pushing their propaganda. As they continue to use VOP to push their propaganda, now the game have changed. The new IPOB are also making their own case in VOP. So we have to continue to project this for people who did not see to see. Let us hear what the program they have. Remember, as Nnamdi Kanu is preparing for his appeal, Mazi Ekpa also preparing her appeal. A lot of things are going to be happening. So many blackmail, so many propaganda, so many lies to tarnish their image. And we on media will not allow that. You yourself that is watching me, you must do your own part to make sure that our leaders are properly represented. Remember, August 5th, Mazi Ekpa is coming for his appeal, and the Biafrans are requested to be in Finland in mass. Join the protest that is going to hold on the 4th. Join the protest. A massive protest is coming up on the 4th. The flyers are everywhere. The numbers to contact are there to get the update, no time and date and places. These are very important for us to give massive support to our leaders. Nigeria is gone and is not recovering. No matter what the United States is doing now, no matter what Donald Trump is doing or saying, they can continue to go their front and back, but the will of the people will definitely stand. The Zoological Republic is going to burn. With or without the United States, is going down. If the United States under Donald Trump refuse to do what they're supposed to do, by himself, we split that devilish entity by himself. So I want us to listen to this very program. It is very important and very interesting. And as you're watching, like and share the program. Invite somebody to join. Invite somebody to join. This is a very important program. Very interesting program. Very interesting because, that is the importance of going to their media. If you don't go to their conventional media, you will not know what is happening. So that is why every time I come online, I try as much as possible to go to their conventional media and bring what is happening there. Because that is how we can be able to decimate, create awareness, and know the direction we are going to follow them. Because the enemy we are fighting are not relaxing. The enemy we are fighting are not relenting. They are doing everything they can to see that they distract us. On our own part, what are we supposed to do? What we are supposed to do is to continue to speak up, to continue to speak the truth and nothing but the truth. And make sure that at every given point in time, that we are bringing information to the doorstep. So wherever you are as a Biafra, I want you to understand that this battle is not a small battle. It is a very great battle, and we are going to fight it and we're going to win it. But before then, as we continue to prepare for this battle, you have to do your own part. in evangelism. You have to do your own part by speaking up. Don't keep silent. When you see something, say something. Wherever you are watching from, I want you to pay attention to this program. You are going to learn a lot. You will learn a lot. Let us watch and hear what they have to offer this evening.
Voice of the People 90.3 FM. Dịka anyị gbara ụlọ ụnyaahụ, ọtụtụ ihe emeela, ọtụtụ ozi agbasana na efere mbawa dị iche iche gbasatara ya bụ IPOB, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu nakwazi ESN. Mana ụtụtụ a anyị ga-anụkwa n'otu onye bụ onye IPOB. Ọtụtụ anyị sonyere na ya bụ ihe omume ileba anya ụsatụtụ. Anyị nwere Mazi Ezumezu Nwekwesu. Mazi Ezumezu Nwekwesu, ọ bụ na n'ụlọ anyị ụtụtụ ọma. Ọ dị mma, Mazi Ezumezu Nwekwesu. Ụfọdụ ndị mgbe anyị gbanyere ya bụ ihe eserese, ha fụ onwe Mazi Ezumezu Nwekwesu, ha sị kedụkwa nke bụ Nwekwesu, kedu ka afọ asị wepụta?
Well, okay. So, can you use 1 minute to go back Alpha? Alpha, always wait to one follow Alpha, my family. Come on, no. I wouldn't go more force for you. Because those guys did so. I feel like they're going to watch on more. They're going to watch on more. They're going to watch on more. They're going to matter. But to answer people get food, just far, maybe few years ago, that's what they went after the event. That's more. They put more you put down more. They put more you put down more. To answer, you must get into people, our fathers, normally you are about heaven or hell. That is the president that influence them. About what I do to answer. People that let people are hell or heaven. I see the condition. I'm not do one. Get some more time people buy. People, you have to them. And my legal authority, they will not more to the according to them. I would thank Kai got more. Get on more. That would influence. That would let them.
Afọ onye dịrị onye Mazi.
Kwere ka kita toto ụbọchị ugbu a mmadụ abịa basị ya bụ nwa mama ịwọta. Ịghọtago ha sị.
Ọ nwere ndị na-azọ ndị nwa mama ịwọta. Nke a Soludo, nke nwa dibịa anya ọcha Soludo nwụchiri. Ọ bụrụ ozi nwa mmiri. Ekulu nwa mmiri. Mazi Ezumezu Nwekwesu ka anyị gaa n'iru na ya bụ isi akpọrọ afọ wee kwapụkwu n'ụtụtụ a. Ọ bụrụ na ị na-anya ọtụtụ ihe emeela n'ụbọchị ndị eze, ọtụtụ ozi dị n'efere mba ụwa gbasatara IPOB, gbasatara Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, gbasatara ESN. Maka ndị na-esonyere anyị ọfụma na mba ụwa dum, achọrọ m ibido jụwa gị ajụjụ a tupu wee gaa n'iru saa ajụjụ a. Ị bụ onye IPOB n'ozuzu oke?
Yeah, to answer more onye IPOB, onye awarded 2012. Oluko Olu in 2014. More Munians of every over. More other moves, not one other moves, not one other moves, not one mother. In 2014, come for official member. So I
Odimba. Ọ bụrụ na ị bụ onye IPOB, kedu ihe na-afịọtụ na IPOB? Ikposa gị, asụkwa gị, onye abụkwa onye ndu, onye abụghịkwa onye ndu. Kedu ihe butere nsogbu a niile? Onye ka bụ onye ndu?
To answer Mazi Nnamdi Kanu bụ our leader. And ọnọdụ anụ otu akpọrọ IPOB otu oge malitere ya. ofu onye wuo ndị ọzọ ga-egebe wee jụọ ma mụ wee jụọ onye ndụ anyị maazị Nnamdi Kanu ọfịs ya enwere kwesịrị aya n'obi maka na ọnya nwa gbaziri ọnọdụ ahụ ka ebe niile eke na isi obi ọfịs niile eke na isi obi ọnya nwa so ahụ gị eji ụdata onye bụ anyị maazị Nnamdi Kanu gwawa leader and nobody can take it off. And nwere akwụkwọ anyị na-akpọ code of conduct. Data akwụkwọ na code of conduct because onye ọbụla bụ anyị bụ family. And data akwụkwọ ọ dị isi onye nkwa maazị Nnamdi Kanu enwere ego aka. Apart from his office, anyị eche ihe and onye nwere forward ime maazị Nnamdi Kanu.
Maazị Nwekwensu ya gaziere gị ọ bụrụ na ile anya maazị Nnamdi Kanu nọ n'ụlọ mkpọrọ ka ihe siri bụrụ ugbu a na-akwado ịgawa ụlọikpe kpesara ọ pụtara n'ozi anyị nwetara maka na ọtụtụ ozi na-apụta ụfọdụ n'ọnụ Kanu nta ụfọdụ ụmụnne ya ndị ezinụlọ ya IPOB bụkwa nke ịmapụ afọ na-ekwuchitere ha ọnụ ọtụtụ ozi dị iche iche na-apụta maazị Nnamdi Kanu kwara maazị Nnamdi Kanu sịkwa maazị Nnamdi Kanu jụkwara maazị Nnamdi Kanu achụghị ka anyị lega anya na ndị DOS bụkwa nke Chikadibia Edozie maazị bụ onye a na-akpọ Chike Edozie nọ n'isi ya bụkwa nke anyị nwetara akụkọ na maazị Nnamdi Kanu ebosala ha achụọla ha ọsọ ụkwụ ego a ụfọdụ n'ime ha asịla ha si n'otu IPOB were pụọ o were hiwe DOS ọhụrụ ọ dị gị ka nke mbụ ị nabatara ọchụchụ ọ chụrụ Chike Edozie na ndị otu ya dịka DOS họpụta ndị ọhụrụ ọ dị gị ka n'oge dịka nke a abụghị oge o kwesịrị ịnọ n'ụlọ mkpọrọ na-asị chụọ achụkwala n'oge dịka nke a bụ oge onye ukwu na onye nta kwesịrị ịbịakọta ọnụ hụ ka a ga-esi were hụ na ọ pụtara na ya bụ ụlọ mkpọrọ.
Thank you for this question. I think for you to give me so good like ndụ achụ ụnyaahụ jiri ụdọ nnukwu isi agara aga oge aka edebere anya ya ịchụ nta atọ oge aka edebere anya ịchụ Chika Paul Edozie na ndozi n'ihi na ada nwa mmadụ Chika Paul Edozie ọ na-adị esozi akwụkwọ code of conduct ọ na-adị anụzi onye awarida onye nduchara mee nke a mmadụ n'ọchọ gịnị ọchọ evidence ka m nye obere azụ obere nwa maazị egwuregwu esi mba ga ebe a n'ịpụta evidence nye ga evidence ịma anyị Igbo amara anyị Igbo today na Nigeria ọnya dị more faithful na ndị but that of Bangala validate institute na Igbo in 2021 so like it one man is the club upgrade in 2021 this family into value ọ bụrụ na Chika Paul Edozie n'ụdịrị mmadụ aka n'ụbara ya ụmụ ọgbara anyị nwetara na anyị
kedu ihe maazị Nnamdi Kanu gwara ya ọ na-anọgide
oge ndegbu ịma na maazị Nnamdi Kanu oge etite maazị Nnamdi Kanu I think that was in June. Yeah, that was the June really, yeah. The ESN, they took a lawyer, with maazị Nnamdi Kanu. Then onye isi DOS the political na ndụ women besides that school you have for their Monday go stand on 9th of August 2021. Get me that Monday go stand. If you don't have harmony, then before that on 9th of August, PPS said they're making a paper so dog eat the get for you. That dog even the get for you. Oh, one party is not about them, they make it of where for you do that now. And DOS is actually going to Monday goes to school. We're going to see a back. I'm going to change and I'm going to go ahead. Obey na ndị gọọmenti ya bata ma ndị ụzọ ma ndị iro ya bata na ndị ya eme gịnị ya eskalate na megide na tutuo na na-ejidokwu ụzọ na nsụba n'aka nsụọ ya nwa mmadụ na-akpọ Nnamdi ọkpọpanista na-etinye ebe a wee gba ikika kwesịrị na ebe onye dịkabesịna mmadụ na onye gbamanye na onye degere evidence. No way evidence no way business. No way business only the area to cancel the seat at home. Then it will listen to it. How about you? Where see that now? Everyone put that seat at home and all you do is who will jump out to take the food to the way no there. Who don't know you jump out to take that who wait to pay when you that was the first disobedience to man and that was the first time Hannah can stop the way when believe me, it will true. That one day goes down on 9th of August 2021. Everywhere was warm. But she got that on that he took care and answer he took again. But no name to the what I can lawyer. But I didn't want to get a no name to the other. On 72 hours before that on 9, I can't go ahead. Only to the water you get the offer because all can have more, not enough money. That is the thing. Who was not of things similar to the thing. That one of the effort. Mazi government, Mazi Amasia, they can't get to the mother in the house.
Ọ bụrụ na ị na-anya ka ọ dị kịta ụfọdụ ndị na-ekwu kalụ nta na arụjọ onye nke na-ekwu kalụ nta bụ ihe ọma mere ịnwa dịka onye IPOB onye otu IPOB kedu ọnọdụ kalụ nta n'ihe ndị a ọ na-agba mgbokwu ọ na-agbapụta agbapụta
Mazi Kanu were a member at IPOB. One offer, one to know when I a member for Johnson. Okay, in 2015, onye ndumedusi, I was deputy leader, and I put the report. I have no onye Kanu this member, I am no law. Because who came for one shop now piano from onye which people are gonna read from the highest command in Ghana. In my bad man is forgiving. Listen. I have no account. I have no account. Listen to the way no account to get out of that now. That account stand in two things. Obey code of conduct and obey the leader of this movement. I don't think they know my account. Oh my God.
Mazi Wekwesu in Anolu. Aha ga-adị ọ na-atọpụ ụtọ n'ọnụ ịkpọ. Ikwutere okwu Simon na Ekpa maka na tupu ọ kwuchie Simon na Ekpa Tohasom ọ bụrụ na ị na-eri ọ bụrụ na otu edi sonyere anyị ebe a ị ga-amata na tupu ọ kwuchie Simon na Ekpa ma tụọ ya mkpọrọ na mba Finland ọtụtụ ndị bi ebe a ndị na-ege anyị ntị anyị kwutokwu Simon na Ekpa n'ụzọ bụ na ọ na-arụ ọjọọ na IPOB ha si anya ọwa shi na Mazi Nnamdi Kanu onye ndu họpụtakwara ya na-enweghị ọrụ ọjọọ ọbụla ọ na-arụ oge abụ n'oge ka ha na-esitechara anyị ozi ebe a ọkachasị ụfọdụ ụmụafọ Igbo na mba ofesi na Simon Ekpa anaghị arụ ọrụ ọjọọ ọ bụ ezigbo ọrụ ka ọ na-arụ na ha amaghị ihe mere na mgbe niile anya na-akọta ya ebe a na ọ na-arụ ọjọọ biko tupu a nwụchie Simon Ekpa ọ na-arụ ọjọọ na IPOB ka ọ na-arụ ezigbo ọrụ
ịgbaghị tupu anyị Simon Ekpa oyibo ka ọ bụ nwanne nke o nwere ike nwa nara anyị ọ sịka ka ọ put one game movie for or much more. No man condemn me, not yet, not yet put it here. But if I can you Simon Ekpa, when movement is applied, we are not going to be able to make it better. And no one after that, Chica Polly do get onion tunti. This keep why I can suspend Chica. That one will take it over. Two one upon the free. I will take it over. But Simon Ekpa, even give it to oh my God, but when no go better. Oh my God, when do better. And okay, interview only see only side news. Which side for the rest here? Simon. It's going to be I don't want bad even. And all of Simon, the union of Moffman. People who tell me so. Simon, I'm waiting for me. Simon, yeah, I do. And Simon, I can't head of the today. Simon, I don't tell you so. The Simon who police do so. Okay, Simon for the debate. After we get to my Nnamdi, the next person Simon will next person Simon more to come the money they say. What you are no? Come back and have we feel zero beginning. Oh, you wait, you that honor who will step now. No more go to Ghana. Get government in SI. I left in anything over, not the easy. And a man to audience. So, it's that I do. Or when no moment.
Mana kedu ka esiri hụ mkpọrọ atụrụ ya afọ 6 ka 5 na mba Finland kedu ka esiri hụ ya
That's where we have only one of them now they are follow. Of them now they are follow. And those who them that that one body. One thing could be ima will be more than that. What they would have Biafra. They were begging and they were one evening. Biafra. What man take care of money. Another one, what they pay or two side. What they pay or two night. No more in a Biafra, a plan one. Why are that? What you want it? But what happened there? Of trouble, woman. Of trouble, woman. Oh, they all the camera, carry woman.
How come near me, Bamakano Gendi, voice of the people 90.3 FM, Mobile on YouTube, IPOP, Mazi is Mwesu, no, to as no bonnet, no, so, Mabano, Bochara, Manamazi is Mwesu. Makaiga Zini, wire bone, Abba. Ọrụ n'anya ebe ka ego ndị a niile ndị mmadụ na-atụkọsị maka na ọ kwere m nghọta na ọtụtụ ndị na-ekwu na otu ndị a na-ebuba ọ bụrụ ma ị gaa n'ije ije ego na-aga ije ego na-agafe aka pụrụ aka kedu ndị ọ dị n'aka ịchịkọta maọbụ lekọta ego ndị a niile na-abata n'akpa IPOB ma nkwado ya ma efu na Maazị Nnamdi Kanu pụtara maọbụ ndị na-enye nkwado efu na ndị ọkaiwu ya nwetara nkwado pụrụ iche na-ewepụta Maazị Nnamdi Kanu kedu ndị ọ dị n'aka na-afụsụ maka ya bụ ego ahụ ọ dịkwa ebe dị
ebe ego a esi onye nọ and onye Kanu said, I want to put in an any account in IPOB that is good account. When you go now, when you do Madam Nenianya. Oh, that woman really in charge about anything they do IPOB worldwide. And a guy, think of a woman on the piano about this time, back with the agreement. A man, a lawyer, to fight as one lawyer, an international Magoka, one on 1 year, the beginning, Nakumata. A man is settlement, after a settlement, over $90,000. I put a that day of Polago, I cannot over come out new hours now. And to that bank, I feel that one man. All the same man, well, for you. Our God, my Kenya. All the same woman, well, for you. Our God, my UK. All the same man, where they take your feet. A guy. I went so much at Johnny. And I went. I did go before I could just your account. So, you might be able to but all my CTOS, Chief of Police, I'm one of the only man until you have to speak up. But a lot of things were very recover. I will to be. A guy, you know, telling that to the Maniaca. That woman, where you command that bank that they to that account. But I don't believe here, keep or keep up. Woman be, and they can account of that. I will laugh to get it that. Yamananda, Chica Political and Goods here. What 2,000 views online bank like that. Not that. Yamananda, South Africa. Over 200,000 rounds. That one I don't know. Chica Political magazine. So, Gawa can I tell you? I'm not there with no thing. Can you get on? I have a counter Kanu. I will got caught. We go back to call. I'm waiting for the life. Or to transfer into our attitude now. Because if they are now for attitude to the front of us, so they want to enable only the instead of you. So, if walk up and get a guy ever the other on the
Mazi, Wekwensu, yes, the group ọtụtụ ụmụ afọ Igbo na-ekwu na ihe gbasara IPOB dịka ọgọziele family business. Ụmụnne Maazị Nnamdi Kanu ha ji akpa ego na ha jie onye mee ya dọrọ nke ya n'aha gịnị nwanne ha nwoke bụ Maazị Nnamdi Kanu. Ụfọdụ ndị na-ekwu na ezinụlọ Maazị Nnamdi Kanu ekwesịghị ịnọ na-etinye ọnụ n'ihe gbasara IPOB, ihe si aga na ihe ndị ọzọ, na ha kwesịrị ịnụ otu aka na-ekiri hapụrụ ndị DOS ya bụ ọrụ. Mana na nke ikpeazụ azi na ezinụlọ Maazị Nnamdi Kanu eburu ihe niile n'isi ụmụnne ya, onye ọbụla ewere na-akpa ego aka nri aka Ekpa. Kwenyere na nke a, nke ọ bụ eziokwu maka na Igbo otu onye gbara mkpọrọ IPOB.
And that's the local government account that come up with of IPO. Right in my boom. IPO. If I can get so after 2 things, I have one account that comes the negative. I fight. You know that 2 things. Obey IPO because of conduct. He won't lie. He won't before Batana. Obey an action of command. And obey any one of the man this landing can your propaganda. Ever again, and if you don't want money, you have to boy and kid. None of the 1 year working. None of the 1 year working. Our leader. But what is the last back up? 1 mother and 4 comes that come. na one man there, and then I know where our sister, I respect her. I go to her for. See, I think that was tell them go only the one man there.
On your defense, people.
Lolo, nega. Civic. I go to her for. Let you put the people here. Let me wait to pay. What tell them full evidence. It's the one man there can you tell me? They just $10,000 and they go to all my platforms. My people here. I don't lie. I'm going to be so much.
Kadino Sarajam, Kadia Lolo Neka, she possesses Sarajam, Barianka.
And come, but I have you over a spoon back. I'm trying to more than you got a baby. Everything is put air. I have anything you put my hair. So, I won't go on evidence, place with evidence, and come to take a policy about you. Pray that to a group who will do well. Okay, the same woman, Lord of Nature. Now, the new HOD today, today, please walk. Man, please, not for a member of my team. Please walk like my program. Please walk. Deputy Regional Coordinator in America. In America, what I done on my program, more people in the program, more than 10 times. Yo, yes, but we only do lie. Say at the end, shall we? Because it's true, we have to go on. Lies, not last days of time. And I'm actually doing your people and I'm going to get that. This is only one man there. I still I can get that more $10,000. Yeah, on the page with me. What tell you evidence you want there? You will hear all my platform people there. I'll put that more $10,000. Don't lie.
Abrona nanya kusuwe jukwa ni ina kebese kubuna mekanike kulo sikanye mana ndego ndara akoko kali anyamaro so na imege ya anyamaro kudo dika adiku ido ngwe Simon Ekpa no na ido ana tuba ya kwalo amone machara nya kam do eba masa aine la ya nazo makana Simon Ekpa bronca urusi mbamu Simon Ekpa anya fuzi ofodo ni befa ofodo ni behas na egobira ani kai de kujo Simon Ekpa mani yan chore jogo ihe ndị a niile na-afịọtụ maka iyi na Maazị Nnamdi Kanu aka ga-enwe nwere onwe ya. Kedu ka unu nwa na unu bụ ndị IPOB unu nọ na Amerịka, unu nọ na Germany, unu nọ na Italy, unu nọ na mba dị iche iche, ọ bụ sọ ego ka unu na-asụ ya ka ọ bụ ụkwụ iche ma UK mana mba Amerịka? Ọtụtụ mgbe eche m na ekwesịrị inwe ọtụtụ ije na dịka ikwuru ọtụtụ ndị ọnụ na-eru n'okwu ndị ma ndị ji ego ma ndị nwere agwa na mba Amerịka. Donald Trump na ụnụ nso, kedu ihe mere na ụnụ adịbeghị njikere lụọ ọgụ a ka mara na ga-etinye ọnụ kpọpụta nwa amadi a otu ugboro okwu a niile ebe maka na Maazị Nnamdi Kanu pụta kịta kpam kpọtọkpọtọ abalị ihu
ndị ji Maazị Nnamdi Kanu ọtụtụ Nigeria gọọmenti a na-eji Nigeria gọọmenti na-eji some of people politicians at ndị ji Maazị Nnamdi Kanu ndị ichie with that company put na Lagos nwe headquarters na Lagos Shell, Chevron, Ajib, Saipem, Gonbega, B+B, Alipoti. Yo, those companies that why are these? Why are these? What are these? For me, to my son, I go UN or buy all Gago or put it where see I'm working. From where I get on, let them read that on the level on. Each man didn't go with this for you company. So some have some email started, some follow no Niger Delta. oge nyere ya ọchịchị ka ọ protect ya oil pipe. O nwere list of the oil test. Go and look at that list. When it comes to government of that list, my America, my UK, my Germany, my Sweden, my Finland, my Norway, all of them this. And they only done this. They keep a kind of a if Nigeria and Congo can feed the whole world about just them well. Not they will say to us if you make any media, that is today. So already, but I know, like one day I think this localized, why you continue. But you know, you have this or this. But I and the government nine I think almost a month ago about the US Congress. What is said even about Indian national as an election government about the case. To answer one matter now, committee from all the prominent people, let me say 60% of them have asked Nigeria to this matter. Even UN working have asked Nigeria to this matter. Semua mati anda tahu na amlo. Oke makamu mana aku mah. Dia ada mu munda ya tahu kan tu deh. No place like this.
Mazi mwepesu kamjogi isina abu lo share. Ndia zibora aji omunne ya. Obu ndi jimazi Nnamdi Kanu no bu government in Nigeria. Maka na tupu ikwo ihe a ugbu a ọtụtụ ụmụafọ ọbụladị ụfọdụ ụmụafọ ala anyị na-abụghị ndị nwere nkwenye na Maazị Nnamdi Kanu na ya bụ ihe ọ na-achọ na-ekwu na ọ bụ gọọmenti Naijiria ji ya n'ụbọchị ha chọrọ ịtọhapụ ya na ha ga-atọhapụ ya mana ịbịala bụ mkpali ugbu a na ọ bụ shell na okwu ndị ọzọ bụ dịka Maazị Nnamdi Kanu. E nwere ajụjụ m chọrọ iji gị ugbu a, kedu mgbe unu na-agba ịhụ na Mamadi atọhapụrụ ya? Tupu ịza m ya bụ ajụjụ, ụfọdụ ụmụafọ Igbo nwekwara nkwenye na ọtụtụ ndị ndu ama nke ọma n'ala Igbo bụkwa ndị kwesịrị ịsọpụ uche, gaa hụ onye isi ala, gaa hụ obi onye isi ala kwechiri na nwaanyị nwoke eji enwere ndị ọzọ si na agbụrụ ndị ọzọ mere n'ihe karịrị ihe o mere, kama atọhapụrụ ha lawa. Kedu isi ihe mere nke anyị ga-eji pụrụ iche? Ụfọdụ ụmụafọ Igbo nwere nkwenye isi na ọ bụ shell na ndị otu ya bụ ndị Maazị Nnamdi Kanu nwere nkwenye na ọ bụ ụfọdụ ndị ndu ama nke ọma ọnụ na-eru n'okwu n'ala Igbo, na ọ bụ ndị zọchiri ma kwechiri na nwa amadi ya nọrọ n'ụlọ mkpọrọ, na ọ bụrụ na ịtọhapụ ya taa na ha agaghị enwe ọnụ n'ala Igbo, na ọ ga-enwezi ọnụ karịa ha. Ị kwenyere na nke a?
This company people not buying now. But now I use Nigerian government as a tools. Now use our politicians as a tools. So in Nigeria, okay, get all this that UN in Nigeria come Muhammad Yano. You know that 6 months. At the end of the day, Nigeria should pay it. African Union, African Nigeria, like Bonya. At the end, Nigeria disobey. Okay, in my part, even the government committee and affair is another legislation who has special crime in the whole world. Now, ask yourself, if who can the government go about that is another legislation? Who can you do that if you go my here? Did you get enough for somebody in somebody's country? If you go my here. Oh, my even they will not buy. You have to buy. So somehow one mother mad and they can no years over and you want to fight. Or more than the Canadian. Also, some people really met today. Apart from that, now today on a private great stand another security activist today. Who that not come out of the great ESN. Now this is the one of this why. The Sundibo, what a boy on the land that is just boy, for great security activist. You can So now, you so much as you. The way I am in the book, start one of them. Mandi, Manda, Mandi, Yoruba, see a package. That's now good. At end, shall at end, shall
ọ bụrụ na ị na-anya maazị ezumezu nwa ekwensu ọtụtụ ndị mmadụ ga na-ekwu okwu na-ajụ ajụjụ ma na-ekwusi ike ma na-asị ọ bụrụ na ekwugo okwu we shall win kedu mgbe ọ ga-abụ n'ihi na ọ bụrụ na ngene emedị ngene otu a ka ọ dị ọ bụ na okwu ọnụkwụ na-ekwu we shall win dịka ikwugoro ndị ekwu na ndị ikwu kedu ụzọ ka mma kedu ụlọ otu anụwa ọ na-apụta ụfọdụ ndị esiri n'ụlọ ejere na ịgbapụ ma ọchịchị etiti akwụkwọ na ụlọikpe mba ụwa ọ bụrụ na ụlọ asị we shall win asị gosi tọ abịa ihe na-asị onye nke asị unu ji ego ya unu ji okwu ọnụ ya unu ji ihe nji aka nọ ntọrọ ka a tọrọ ya tọbata ya n'ebe a ọ bụna gị ikpe awagburu na 2020 tupu nke a si ya lawa mechakwa bịa nwụchiga ya azụ ọ dịghị ka ihe ndị a niile ezigbo oke ebe ọ bụla Naijiria ekwerezi a na ihe maọbụ ndị ọchịchị Naijiria ebe a na ihe gbakọ gawazie na mba ụwa otute na mba ụwa ka enyezi iwu ka atọ akụmazụ na ndị ka
ị mara anyị gara court na UK from the High Court to Supreme Court onye onye gara court dị iche aka ụka Kanu mana ka a na Supreme Court emere exercise their right ịchọ I will send you the video letter at a point the lawyer let defend UK government now by the judge na this man is part of national security that's not this matter this issue now national security of the government that statement the judge it was we all those
Mazi Ekwensu isi na Nigeria nwere bere onwe ya enwere ndị ka na-achịkwa anyị ji na otu akụkụ na-agbaghị ihe ga na-esi were na-eme ka m jụọ gị unu na nwunye Maazị Nnamdi Kanu kedu ka unu si arụkọ na IPOB nwunye Maazị Nnamdi Kanu maka na enwere oge a gbara ya ajụjụ ọnụ lọlọ Nneka Chimezie gbara ya ajụjụ ọnụ live and direct ụfọdụ ihe ka ọ nọcha na-akọcha kwa ndị nke m na-agaghị ekwuchi ebe a mana kedu ka unu na nwaanyị ya nwunye Maazị Nnamdi Kanu si arụkọ Watching see.
Ọ na-ekwu na ịma na ka a ghara ịlọtachafe ife ya nwunye Nnamdi Kanu ọ na-ekwu na ọ bụrụ ihe mere eme n'ụdị na ozi ya nwere ike ọ bụghị n'ọnụ di ya gosipụta ka ọ bụ n'ụdị na ya na ndị a na-asị na ekposara na alụkọ ka anyị gaa n'iru maka na oge anyị na-akụkwa apụ mgbe na-adịghị anya ga-apụ gị na-agba n'ụwa ọ bụrụ na ị na-anya otu ihe na-agbagwoju m anya ọtụtụ mgbe mpụta na-akụ ma n'efere mba ụwa maọbụ na-ekiri ọtụtụ ihe gbasatara Maazị Nnamdi Kanu onye anọkwa Burkina Faso kwuo onye anọkwa Italy kwuo onye anọkwa Portugal kwuo onye anọ Spain onye anọ America onye anọ Sweden ajụjụ m na-ajụ gị n'ụtụtụ a ka m bidogo n'ịjụ gị kedu ihe mere na unu niile bụ ndị na-ekwu ihe a nọcha mba ofesi kedu ihe mere na unu gị na-achị ịbata Naijiria anyị na Naijiria n'ụwa dị ọgụ ya lụta ya otu kedu ihe mere o ji bụrụ na ụnụ nọ n'elu ụna na-enye iwu ụna na-ekwu okwu maka ntọhapụ onye nọ na Naịjirịa? Ọ dị ka oge ruo na mgbe ụnụ ga-agasa ọ bụrụ na maazị Nnamdi Kanu dị ụnụ mkpa, ọ bụrụ na ọ bụ onye ndu n'eziokwu ka ụnụ si chọọ, ọ bụrụ na ihe ọ bụla o kwuru bụ ejecha ọgụ, ụnụ niile ụbọchị ọzọ ọ ga-aga ikpe apil, ụnụ niile febata na Naịjirịa nujuo n'ụlọ ikpe fụnye ihu na ihu kwesịrị n'ụlọ ikpe n'ihe a enough is enough, na ọ bụrụ na asụọ gada 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 a ga-asụta ihe n'ime ọfịa. Kedu ka isi fụ nke a?
Mazi Nwekwensu gaa n'iru n'otu nkeji. Mana asị na achụrụ onye asị na achụrụ Ifeanyi Ejiofor na o ji aka ya gbarụkwa gị dịka Nnamdi Kanu na-ekweghị n'ihe ndị ọ gbahasịrị ya bụ eziokwu. Sebadi. Agam aga. Agam aga di munjikere ga di munjikere sebadi.
Aga masih anyị ma anyị na Mazi Kanu nwee ọbụla gị barista Aloy ji ọtọ. Ọ dị mma ebe a ka anyị nọ wee na-ekene gị Maazị Ezumezu nwa Ekwensu. Daalụ gị nne maka oge gị n'ụtụtụ a na ịgwa anyị ka o si gbatakwuru na otu IPOB Maazị Nnamdi Kanu ihe gbara ya gburugburu. Ọ bụrụ na anyị kpọọ ụbọchị ọzọ dododo zakwa anyị. Daalụ gị.
It forces Nigerians to ask not simply who may have committed an offense, but how an entire system could have allowed it to happen. This week, the presidency found itself responding to allegations surrounding what it says was a fictitious government body known as the Presidential Foreign Intervention Promotion Council. Presidential spokesman Bayo Onanuga says the office was fake, that the individual at the center of the matter, Adeniyi Adeyemi, has been arrested and that criminal proceedings are now before the courts. But the legal proceedings do not extinguish the broader public interest questions. In fact, they make those questions even more urgent, because if the official position is that this organization did not legally exist, then Nigerians are entitled to ask, how was it able to function for so long within the machinery of government? How could an entity now described as fictitious operate from the Federal Secretariat? How was it able to communicate with public institutions? How did it acquire the appearance of official recognition? And perhaps most remarkably, how did provisions associated with it find their way into the federal appropriations process? Those questions do not presume guilt against anyone. They are questions about systems, not merely individuals. They also raise difficult issues for multiple institutions. If public funds were appropriated in relation to an office whose legal status is now disputed, what does that say about budget scrutiny? What does it say about administrative oversight? What safeguards failed, and where should responsibility ultimately lie? Well, beyond the criminal prosecution itself, there are now growing calls from some quarters for wider administrative inquiries into how such events could occur and whether existing oversight mechanisms inside government remain fit for purpose. President Tinubu has repeatedly pledged to confront corruption and strengthen institutions. Many Nigerians will now judge that commitment not by speeches, but by whether this controversy is investigated thoroughly, transparently, and wherever the evidence leads. Because in a democracy, accountability does not begin when a conviction is secured. Accountability begins the moment legitimate questions are asked and the government is willing to arms ceremony. Well, for their assessment of the story and the other developments in the week that was, I'm joined now in the studio by three guest analysts. Dr. Umar Yakubu is the Executive Director of the Center for Fiscal Transparency and Public Integrity. He is also a public policy analyst. Dr. Taufik Raimi is a development expert and economic analyst and is a member of the ruling APC party, as well as the Tinubu support group. And Mazi Nnamdi Dixon Irebu is a public affairs analyst and aspirant for the House of Representatives under the banner of the opposition, NDC. Gentlemen, thank you very much indeed for joining us. Let me come to you first, Dr. Yakubu. Thank you for joining us. From your perch as the Executive Director of the Center for Fiscal Transparency and Public Integrity, you deal with a lot of issues around the stink of corruption. How much does this unfolding story of a fictitious office operating under the name of the Presidential Foreign Intervention Promotion Council raise a red alert?
Well, thank you for inviting me, Charles, and I liked your intro because for the first time since this scandal came about, people have been focusing on the person as the prince or whatever, but they are not looking at the accountability system and mechanism. We have been saying that it has been too weak. And in your intro, you mentioned all the problems. Now we have several councils, National Examination Council, National Shippers Council, all the councils. You find out that they have enabling legal frameworks backing them. Now, nobody has been able to tell you the legal framework backing this particular council. And the funny name is Presidential Intervention something. Even the name is very funny and problematic if you look at the name. Intervention in what exactly? But now let's assume that it even exists in law.
Presidential Foreign Intervention Promotion Council.
Promotion of what exactly?
Well, I mean, you're right, but continue.
Yes, sir.
So that's bizarre.
Yeah, it is. So now let's assume that we'll listen to the argument, they maybe manufacture one legal framework now. What they will tell you is executive order and start burying it under some, nuances there, here and there. But let's assume it even exists now. Now, you are talking about promotion of investments. You have the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. You have the Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment. You have the NEPSA, Nigeria Export Promotion Zone. You have the Nexim Bank. You already have enough agencies that are dealing with promotion of international trade, international investments, and all of that. Now, what mechanism did they need? What mechanism or what tool or what led them to think about how they will establish this kind of council now? I've not seen any data to support, we need a presidential foreign intervention promotion council, whatever it may be. Because these agencies are already doing all their work. But UNITE came and now established a council to, let's say, promote. I'm assuming it's for promotion of foreign investment. I'm just assuming. Now, assuming that's the reason for foreign investment, these people do not understand that capital chases investment, not the other way around. That's why you can see presidents running around, governors running around all the time. But where are the investments coming? Well, all over the world, you will see a lot of capital looking for where investments would lie. But this is not happening because we have not, fixed our system for the investors to come. So now, to the second layer about accountability mechanisms. Assuming whether it was established or not, how do you establish an agency, get funding, 1.2 billion or so, whatever the amount is, it even has a budget of 20-something billion, open an account with the central bank, meaning payments have come from the Accountant General of the office, meaning the Auditor General of the Federation has access to all these accountability mechanisms.
Budgets approved at the National Assembly.
Yeah. Then for the presidency to now come and expose its lapses, it now came and issued a statement that was just bringing out all these lapses, meaning they do not check all these things. So these are the problems of what we're talking about, and these things need to be fixed. Because right now, just one more point, assuming they jail this person, what happens to the other ones that we're not aware of? There are so many of them. And what happens to all the spending that nobody's just checking? Lastly, again, the National Assembly just needs to live up to its responsibility.
Okay, thank you for that. Let me come to you, Mazi Nnamdi Dixon. If the presidency says this office did not legally exist, how could an organization function within government to the extent that it appeared to interact with ministries and public institutions? What does that say about the strength or weakness of governance systems? And let's be, fairly reserved with our language, because I know you're chomping at the bit, being an opposition member. Let's just assess this reasonably, and
it's an unreasonable situation. So it just tells that it seems like Nigeria is running an Uluwale system of government.
What does that mean?
It's a Yahoo system of government. Because if not, the chief of staff to the president has been linked to this, and over how many days, weeks, and all of that. Because this thing just started now. As far back as October, this case has been in the public domain. And the chief of staff was said to have written to exonerate himself and all of that story and all that. And he's still sitting in there up till now. So first, the position of my party, the NDC, is that by now, the chief of staff to the president ought to have been sacked, and sacked immediately, so that at least by every means possible, investigation will be carried out without any semblance of bias. So it's just unfortunate that we have gotten ourselves here, Charles. I made a movie that gave me the first armor in 2005 titled The Mayors. It was about scenarios like this where people feigned or claimed to be government officials, and from such office, extort foreigners and all of that in the name of having access to the powers that be. The movie is just about playing out the game. It's just like in the movies. It's sad, and I expected the president by now to have taken a firm position to, at least if you say you're fighting corruption, and this one is closer home, your chief of staff is directly linked to this. This person has office in the Federal Secretariat and has been functioning for a while now. And somebody is trying to say, oh, it's a fake agency. How is that? If it's a fake agency, are we running a fake government? These are issues that we now need to interrogate seriously, because honestly, this does not speak well for our country. It just exposes how the APC government led by Tinubu is all about how that they can milk the system and not, promote the common interests that they ought to be promoting. Right.
Okay.
So it's unfortunate that we found ourselves here.
Yeah. Let me turn to you, Dr. Raib, because you are a member of the APC, although you're not in the government. So, I don't know what sort of defense you can put forth, but is this simply an alleged case of fraud by an individual in your assessment based on what you know, or does it expose something much deeper about institutional controls inside the APC Tinubu government?
Okay, thank you, Charles, for having me. And let me say categorically that this issue is still an allegation by the person who claimed to...
No, we're not talking about, sorry to interrupt you.
Yes.
It has gone beyond being an allegation.
Yes.
Because the government, the presidency has admitted that such a thing had been happening.
Yes. Yeah.
The issue of allegation is whether, to what extent, the chief of staff is involved or connected to it or not. But the fact is that a fake organization existed and was basically had the budget appropriated to it,
1.3 billion,
passed by the National Assembly, recruited staff and all the rest of it. That's the issue.
Yes,
so it's gone beyond that point of allegation.
There are various issues to this matter, and you allow me to make
of course, but I wanted to just check the point you were trying to make.
Yes.
Because that people would see that as a way to try and slip out.
No, we're not slipping out at all. Charles, I can assure you, there's no slipping out. We are going to lay the point, not the emotion. When this matter came up in October last year, you will recall that this matter, Nigeria have institutions that I still believe they are working. They are working. We should not demonize our institution of government, particularly under this current president, His Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Why did I say so? In October, when this matter came up, the Federal Ministry of Finance, the Federal Ministry, the Foreign Affairs Ministry, discovered that there is an agency like that, and then alerted, the chief of staff, because he was the person. That's why I said it was an allegation at that point. He was alleging that he got an appointment for this particular position. So the chief of staff took the right decision, immediately requested, first of all, he said he had nothing to do with it. He immediately asked the Office of National Security Advisor and the DSS to investigate the man and whoever is connected. At that particular point, the system was working. Even beyond that, the police also came into the matter and they went and investigated and found out that the so-called organization is fake. The fact that you see the man hobnobbing with government functionaries are not sufficient to thinking that maybe our system had failed.
I don't mean to interrupt you.
Yes.
It is sufficient.
Yes.
And if it does not raise red flags for you, then I worry about the state of this country. And I'm saying that to you in particular. Yes. I am raising specific concern. How can a fake organization be able to get offices in the Federal Secretariat, have its budget approved in the National Assembly, open bank accounts in the Central Bank? How is that possible?
Charles, the nature of sophisticated crime and criminality across the world can be so tight that certain times you want to wonder how certain things happen. Let me give you a quick example.
Yeah, but it raises two questions.
I know.
It raises
you know that in
about
America,
how this could have happened in your government.
No, in America where we have...
No, we're not talking about America.
No, let me give you an
Nigeria.
example. Let me give you an example. All of us that were live when the incident of 9/11 happened. The 9/11, why don't you say, why did this happen in America? Let me tell you.
Totally different
No, you see.
Look, I'm afraid I can't. This is preposterous. You don't really have a response. Let me come to you.
I do.
Professor, Dr. Yakubu. What worries you more? Listening to Dr. Taufeeq there, the allegations themselves, or the possibility that no one inside the system appears to have detected the warning signs that appear to have been so glaring?
Yes, sir. Thank you. What worries me the most is the weakness of the accountability mechanisms. That you can have a fake agency situated right in the Federal Secretariat. I definitely want to believe he even moves with policemen. Yes, is provided security by the state. He draws funds from the state. Now that 1.2 billion could have been 12 billion, could have been 20 billion. Now the amount doesn't matter because the mechanism is so porous. Now, if you reported last year that there is a fake agency, where you see now what has happened? Exactly. Nothing. Absolutely.
To be fair, he's been charged to court, but he is out on bail.
Yes.
If Mr. Charles, you open a government office tomorrow in the middle of Abuja, by next week he'll be in jail. I'm telling you.
Well, you ought to be.
You ought to be in jail. But the reason why we could assume, even if we don't have the evidence right way, why it's taking time is there's likely political interference or some political interest. That is why it is not happening. And we need to really look at these things because, like I said, 1.2 billion could have been 12 billion, could have been 20 billion. And now when you have about 7-8 federal agencies all not being able to detect a fake agency to raise the red flag, on the other side, you have the National Assembly sending letters back and forth to that same agency, and somebody's come to tell us it is fake. Please, I think we need to...
And these are people who have oversight functions.
Exactly.
What is the point of oversight if you can't detect something that is, clearly raising a red flag? Let me come to you, Mazi Dixon. The matter, as we said, is now before the court, so the criminal issues will be determined legally. But the existence of a court case does not prevent the presidency from ordering wider administrative investigations into how this happened.
I agree. And that's why I said first, the office of the the chief of staff to the president has been linked to this. First, in fact, the story out there is that this fellow purchased this appointment. I think they said it was linked to about 600 million, and 400 million was paid, balance 200 million. The guy who linked
those are the allegations.
The allegations. The guy who linked him to this.
I mean,
getting this.
I don't want to get into all kinds of allegations.
At least let's even bring it to the
what you mean, but those are allegations at this point.
Yes.
The key thing is what Dr. Yakubu is raising, which is the institutional failure.
The failure of the 10th Assembly ab initio compromised itself, became more like a branch of the executive arm. And that is why the oversight function thing is nowhere to be found. The 10th Assembly has failed woefully in that direction. We even have letters from the Senate to this fellow, to this agency, from the Green Chamber to this fellow, and all of that. So if the National Assembly, like you rightly stated, that ought to do the oversight function, was caught napping, sleeping, on duty. Well, that's where we have found ourselves. And my brother here at the APC, my colleague here, it's unfortunate. Yes, it's unfortunate that we don't even know where to draw the line. Moments like this, what we should put forward is Nigeria. The image of our nation is what is important here, not your political party.
I agree.
So I expected that he will even, first of all, frown seriously at this, and to imagine that it is under their watch that this is happening. You are looking for excuses linking us to America and looking for 9/11 narrative and all of that. This is terrible. And the government, the president ought to, by now, sack the chief of staff who has been linked. What is not the first one? He has been linked to various.
He can be suspended while an investigation.
Sack is the issue. Sack is
someone.
This is not the first time that the chief of staff has been linked to issues like this.
Anyway, let me
this is a very terrible thing that is happening.
Because the question is whether there should be responsibility, if any exists, should stop with individuals accused. Or should there also be scrutiny of the entire public sort of official system? And looking into who may have approved documents or failed to detect irregularities. I mean, where do you stand definitively on that?
Where I stand is that, first of all, this matter came up last year. It was blown open, and the various relevant agencies have continued to do what they need to do. There is still, and that is why the presidency did not even come out about the matter until a few days back, after maybe some internal investigation had been conducted. Why this president or myself or our party will never support anything that has to do with corruption? But in terms of fighting corruption, you also have to be methodical about it. You do not crucify people or set the court and declare them to have committed that offense. In terms of how crime can linger or can permeate, look at FBI even in America. You will notice that sometimes they try to detect problems. Even 5-10 years crime can take that long. This government has no picture for crime or criminality. That's why the party will notice that he has suspended ministers, he has removed some people from their position. So nobody is coming to anywhere. But you see, people can want to make social media headline. Ultimately, you can win a case under two platforms, either on social media or you win a case in the court. This matter is already before the court, and I believe in the end, we are going to see who and who are complicit. I want to assure you that this administration will not bury anybody, but there are oppositions who want to always antagonize the administration, who want to pull down the functionaries because they
actually want to come back. What you're saying sounds spectacularly. Yes.
It
really does. Anyway, look, let's watch and see what happens. We've got to move on because time is against us. Let's turn to our second topic, the APC versus INEC over candidate lists. The APC has reviewed the outcome of several of its National Assembly primaries, restoring some serving senators who had earlier lost their tickets and replacing candidates who were initially declared winners. But INEC says there is a line political parties cannot cross, and that only candidates who emerge from primaries monitored by the Commission and whose names match the results already uploaded onto its electronic portal will be accepted. Any attempts to submit different names, it insists, will be automatically rejected. Who should have the final word over candidates? The political party that conducted the primaries or INEC that monitored them? And let me come back to you guys and to you, Dr. Yakubu. Has the Electoral Act become significantly stronger in preventing arbitrary substitutions of candidates, or are political parties simply finding new ways around it?
The Electoral Act is actually a very strong law. If you really look at the law in principle, it can get us to have a very strong democracy, strong elections and all of that. But the problem is the lawyers and the parties actually have found ways to be abusing the system just to favor their own political interests. So, and we're in a democracy, and every case we have has to end up at the courts, and that is just what is playing out. Everybody will utilize any loophole possible, to see how it can favor his own party. So what happened today, I think, is a welcome development for the ADC. That's the party that got the judgment today, because the space has been assumed to be constrained to favor the ruling party. I'm a civil society, I'm not for any other party, but we're here to promote democracy. So we're happy.
Well, that judgment was actually yesterday.
Okay, yesterday. Thank you for that correction. So I think it's good for democracy to allow participation of all political parties, as long as they meet the minimum requirements. All these little things they hang on to disqualify or prevent other political parties should not be happening. But INEC specifically has to, stand its ground, because most of the time, once it gets a judgment, you can see the urge of INEC rushing.
Right. I think we're getting things a little bit mixed up. The point of the issue here, which I think he will probably be best placed to address, is that the APC has reviewed the outcome of several of its National Assembly primaries. It's restored some serving senators who had earlier lost their tickets, replacing candidates who were initially declared winners after the primaries. But INEC says there is a line political parties cannot cross, and that only candidates who emerged from primaries monitored by the Commission and whose names match the results already uploaded onto its electronic portal will be accepted. Let me get your response to that very quickly before I come to him, and then we're going to take a break.
It's not just the APC that is affected in this attempt to...
Because you're an aspirant
yes,
in the NDC.
While the 2026 amended Electoral Act has a lot of wonderful ideas in it, there are lots of flaws. The aspect of, for instance, insisting that direct primaries, when the system is not conducive enough for that. And we witnessed, for instance, what the APC went first, on the direct primaries thing. And we saw how the direct primaries went, where from 1 you count to 50, from 50 you count to 10,000 and all of that. So indeed, the process was flawed already. So, but the party has every right to internally, present its candidate. After all, the candidates are for the party.
Yeah, but what would be the point of INEC going to monitor the primaries and seeing the results of the primaries and making notes and let
me tell you,
and uploading it, and then you come and give
for instance, from the ABC, my state, the Igbo state, for instance, right? And I have said it everywhere. There was no primaries. There was no. And what was presented, as far as I'm concerned, was not primaries. So that INEC can wake up and say that, that they witnessed or they were part of the process. For instance, mine happened around 1 a.m.
That's your own personal issue.
Not just
the NDC is not saying that there wasn't any.
No, I'm telling you, most aspirants. I'm an aspirant, so I can tell you, and I speak for a lot of other aspirants. There was none. However, we respect the fact that the party position about presenting its candidates is supreme. If the party decides that, whatever happened at the field is not what they are going to upload into the INEC portal is the business of the party.
Okay.
So APC doing that,
running out of time.
for me, is neither here nor there.
In our own case, well, I thank Dixon for the first time saying the truth that there was no primary.
I've always said the truth. I have always
there's no, but in APC, in our own case, we had primaries.
Oh, really?
Yes, we had
That's
primaries.
a lie now.
No. You can't tell me it's a lie. You are the one that just lied next week. However, NDC had no primary, APC had primaries. And in fact, I want to commend our own chairman, national chairman of our National Working Committee, supported by that's Professor Livanda. We made sure that we had teams that went across Nigeria to conduct the election. Out of all of these elections across 36 states and the FCT, we had only 9 states where we have this issue of substitution. And so across all, that means out of 37, if FCT is counted as.
What's your position on what
my position. So our party was able to achieve 76% that are not substituted. Only about 24%. And my position is that it is the party's responsibility to actually nominate their own candidate. So if there are problems on the field, we cannot say because certain names were returned before. Why do we have internal mechanism to correct them? Our party received over 700 petitions, and in the end of the day, we had resolved them. I believe we will have an explanatory note to INEC to explaining why just about 8 people have been substituted.
I got to tell
and I think we are going to resolve.
Thank you for that. Both of you are agreed on one thing, and that's hopeful for Nigeria's democracy. You're watching Arrive Prime Time. Plenty more still ahead as we continue our assessment of the week that was. Stay with us. Let's continue our look back at the week that was, because in the courts, the African Democratic Congress, or ADC, secured a significant legal victory, strengthening its new leadership and potentially reshaping the calculations of an opposition coalition already looking towards 2027. Peter Obi, meanwhile, returned to the national conversation with a renewed promise to build a more united Nigeria through education, healthcare, and human capital development. In a country where division has often proved politically profitable, can unity become a winning political message? And on the security front, the United States announced the withdrawal of most of its troops from Nigeria's Lake Chad region after a major joint counter-terrorism operation, while pledging to continue intelligence cooperation. Is this evidence that Nigeria's security forces are becoming more capable, or simply that modern wars are increasingly won through intelligence rather than boots on the ground? And our guest analysts are still with me in the studio as we continue our assessment of the week that was. And they are Dr. Umar Yakubu, the Executive Director of the Center for Fiscal Transparency and Public Integrity, and is also a public policy analyst. Dr. Taufik Rahimi, a development expert and economic analyst, member of the ruling party as well as the Tinubu support group. And Mazi Nnamdi Dixon-Irebu, a public affairs analyst and aspirant for the House of Representatives under the banner of the opposition, NDC. Gentlemen, thank you very much indeed for staying with us. Let's turn to our third topic, which is the major courtroom victory that you kind of jumped the gun the last time we got to. So if you just keep the answer brief. Courtroom victory for the ADC, the removal of one legal obstacle on its road to 2027, and the affirmation of the party's David Mark leadership. Your thoughts on that, briefly?
I think it's a good development for democracy, but we think this is not the employees. There are too many cases you find that a lot of decisions are done by the court instead of by the people, but by the system. So INEC has to find ways, to make sure that those things are reduced.
Right. Okay. Thank you, and thanks for keeping it brief. Mazi Nnamdi, does the judgment merely settle an internal party dispute, or does it significantly strengthen one arm of the opposition ahead of 2027?
It encourages all of us to still have hope there. Somehow, some of the mistakes that judiciary has made all this while, get in the political arena and all of that, that they are making moves to correct it. So I congratulate the ADC, and I hope that all of us in the opposition will have the understanding that we're all in danger here, because this government is looking for coalition. It is not looking for contestation. So, but we are assured the government that there was going to be a contest, and this goes to open up further the political arena for contest.
Right, okay. Now, Dr. Rahim, you've got a smirk on your face. The ADC now appears to have cleared one big legal hurdle. Does it depress you to know that that victory allows it to now focus fully on presenting itself as a credible alternative to your APC government?
Not at all, Charles. It has nothing to do with our victory for our president and APC by 2027. In fact, APC is ready for any contestation, any contest with any other political party. But I just want Charles for this opposition political party, APC, NDC, and all of them as well, to also sing praises of the judiciary when judgment did not go there. Because today, because today now, you can see, it's talking about, because it went away. And let them also know that, we have hierarchy of courts in Nigeria. If you win at the federal court, there are powers. Court of Appeal, there's also Supreme Court.
Assuming the other
It is not over for them.
Are you saying you're not done with the destabilization of the?
No, we're not the alcohol. So I think the important point I want to make is that just like I referred to earlier, I was not defending anything corrupt. I was only saying system works and we should have confidence in our system. The judiciary is doing well, they can do better in Nigeria. And so when judgment does not go in our favor, we should look at it as being meritorious.
Okay.
When judgment goes in our favor, we should also celebrate.
I think that anybody would see that as a very reasonable. And thank you for that. Now let's move on to our next topic, which is Peter's recently declared new vision for Nigeria. He's emphasizing national unity as the cornerstone of his policy strategy. Is that message likely to resonate strongly in today's Nigeria?
Well, I didn't listen to what he said, but he's talking about national unity. We usually hear all these rhetorics from most of these politicians. They will tell you what we need, but they don't tell you how they are going to enforce national unity. So if somebody is talking about national unity,
I don't think he said enforce, but I think he's talking about a policy, about getting people to. I mean, I don't speak for him.
Sorry, no. Policies are easy to make. The house are what matters. You can easily get people to write policies for you. But the strong political will, the competence, and the energy to enforce that policy of the how is what matters. Absolutely. You want national unity, okay, how you go to force and force it.
You're not going to ram it down people's throats.
Yeah, so that's what I want to hear. That's the kind of how they are going to do it. I have not been hearing that from either political candidate at the federal level like this. I have not heard anything regarding national unity.
Right. And that's a reasonable point, isn't it, Mazi, because you are an obedient.
Oh, yes.
You're a member of the NDC, and B2B is your presidential candidate. I mean, he speaks about unity, but Nigerian politics often rewards division and identity. I mean, that's the way that a lot of politicians actually move. Can a campaign built around national cohesion actually win elections in Nigeria?
Oh, yes. And since 1999, I've stated that the ticket of Peter Obi and Kwankwaso is about the best ticket.
Did you say 1999?
Yes.
You mean 2023?
Since 1999, that democracy came out.
Yeah, but you said that Peter.
That the ticket since 1999, the ticket of Peter Obi since the ticket of Peter Obi and Kwankwaso is about the best that we have had, because one, these are people who are clearly by their antecedents about the nation. Kwankwaso and Peter Obi's togetherness today, as we have seen, is definitely going to promote that unity. Unlike the reunion party as we have, that is sensitive to unity of our country. Because, for instance, anybody who thinks that a Muslim ticket is not an aberration in Nigeria is not thinking straight. So clearly, we are going to have, by body language and all that PDOB stands for, it will be about unity, because APC has promoted division, right? And there's a need to call it to a halt urgently.
Well, let's give the he's not the spokesman for the APC, but he's a representative. Yes. Let's give him a chance to respond, because vision documents are important, but the elections are ultimately one of trust. Has PDOB done enough to convince Nigerians he can actually implement what he's proposing?
Okay, that's a very quality question, as always, from Charles. Let me say, like our energetic, enterprising, promising Nigerian Jesse youth will say, how now, Peter Obi? You want to say you want to unite Nigeria. You could not even unite members of HAPGA, where you are former governor. You could not even unite the leadership of Labour PDP. You ran away. You could not unite Labour Party when you were their presidential candidate. You ran away. How will you do it? You came to ADC. Less than 2 months or 3 months, you have you captured, because even on your program, you said you will continue to move like that. Oh, yes. You know, so because his target is just to be on the ballot paper, he has no leadership capacity, skills, and experience to unite Nigeria. Nigeria has 365 ethnic groups. It has diversity, you know, in terms of religion, in terms of background. Peter Obi does not have the temperament. He doesn't have the cognate experience to be able to unite. If he cannot unite those small organizations, smaller than Nigeria, with 230 million Nigerians, with all this diversity, no one should be so determined and quit.
Okay, we must move on to our final topic, the US withdrawal of its troops from Nigeria. Does this withdrawal, Dr. Yakubu, reflect growing confidence in Nigeria's military or changing American strategic priorities?
Yeah, thank you. Before I start that, you know, in the middle of two politicians, I just want to use...
Yeah, it must be very uncomfortable. Yeah. I noticed you were sweating a bit.
Yes, you can see, they think unity is about inclusion of tribes and everybody. That is not how nations are built, and that is why we have problems. If you look at all the countries we like to copy, they develop some common areas of nationalism, of national interest, of things that would develop the country and pull people towards those visions. But we think now, okay, if you now have a system where every tribe is represented, every religious represented, will now have unity. No, we are not going to have unity. That's what it is about. So back to the final question on the withdrawal of the US troops. I think it's a good thing that they came. At least they have supported the country most, especially I'm sure in terms of intelligence and sharing with Nigerians, because they have superior technology to support them. But now that they have left, my hope and prayer is that the Nigerian state now is ready to fill in that gap that they have left. Most of the areas where they would have helped is they are mostly maybe the intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance, because those are the areas, the kinds of terrorism we have, terrorism, banditry, kidnapping, those major ones are things that they are moving open. So you need those eyes in the sky to see those things. The second thing we have to, and I don't know why we're shying away from there, all these elements of our security, these 3 or 4, have to do with terrorist financing. So we need to strengthen how we stop the monies from flowing to those terrorist groups, and that needs a lot of incorporation, both internally and with our international.
Right, thank you. Very good points. And Mazi Dixon, the US says intelligence sharing. Well, one of the points Dr. Yakubu was making, that intelligence sharing will continue. Does modern counter-terrorism depend more on intelligence than on boots on the ground?
Both. What is important first is that...
Well, I mean, the Americans are gone, so
yeah.
their boots
but
are
they didn't pull away completely.
Yeah, but I mean, they're saying they will give intelligence.
However, what's important for us is that this should make us realize that nobody will come from elsewhere to solve our security issue in Nigeria. We all have to be involved. The government has to take it seriously and rejig completely its approach. One of the things that I have always frowned against is this government adopted, the APC government since they came to power in 2015, adopted this non-kinetic and kinetic approach and all of that, caught people who are confirmed terrorists, kidnappers, and you say we are rehabilitating them. And some of them, recently there's news out there that some of them are being considered for recruitment in the army and all of that. We just have to stop that and change our approach, about insecurity. Fight tackling is right. Nobody will come from outside to do it for us. Then the aspect of sharing intelligence, of course, yes. We are not a nation that is existing outside planet Earth. So we need every cooperation we can get from anywhere. But there should be sincerity from the position of the Nigerian government, right, which seems to be missing at the moment.
Let me ask you, Dr. Rahimi, Nigeria has fought insurgency for more than 50 years. Looking beyond this week's announcement, is this country genuinely closer to ending the conflict?
Yes, we are making progress under the leadership of our President, His Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And let me use this opportunity to thank the President of America, Donald Trump, for the collaboration with our Nigerian government, which led to the mobilization of troops, 200 of them, into Nigeria February this year. And let me say that there are three good things that came out of the call. You recall that the commander of U.S. Air Force that led this U.S. Army into Nigeria has actually said that Nigeria is a large country. Nigeria military is capable. Nigeria has good economy and it has large population of educated people. So these are the people that are looking at us from outside. And just 3 months, they are able to achieve their specific goal. Because he said why they are pulling out, it's not because of any acrimony, it's because they have agreed, they have achieved the objective that brought them here. So I believe that instead of demonizing our country, we should appreciate just like other people are appreciating. As regards the question of 15 years, I believe that we are on course to exterminate the insecurity.
Let me give you the final word, because you're the one who is in the middle, and you're the one who comes across as most objective. We've discussed corruption allegations, electoral disputes, party leadership battles, presidential visions, national situation. If this really tells us anything about Nigeria's direction, what is it? Why? Well, let me put it another way. Which of these stories do you believe Nigerians will still be talking about in 6 months' time?
Unfortunately, Nigerians, I don't know what the research to back this. We have a lifespan of 2 weeks to forget this basically after 2 weeks. But I think the first one, Nigeria should bother very brief about the first one, where you can have an agency that can put billions of naira with staff and nobody knows. That's dangerous.
So the nettlesome issue of corruption.
Yes.
Gentlemen, I want to thank you very much. Great to see you again, Dr. Umar Yakubu, Dr. Taufik Rahimi, and Mazi Nnamdi. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
That's it for this edition of Arise Prime.
This is from Biafra's Got Talent. We are letting Biafrans know the reason why we should remember those who gave their lives for us, those who died that we may live.
You died to end my suffering. You died fighting for my freedom. Your blood is the seed of redemption. You are my inspiration.
The deed no wrong with them, military shots at them. 67 to 70, we remember them. 2016, 38 May, memory still lives in our mind till today. Wonder why they refuse to publicize the genocide. The world media turn blind eyes to our plight. It's time to arise, land of the rising sun. Let's rise one more time, let's rise.
Yo, we will never forget our fallen heroes. Those who gave their life for us. Onitsha massacre, Iwata massacre, Aba massacre. We remember you. Alright.
Tell them I got that day. Remember when me tell you say I got that day. Yeah, I remember that one that called us a Bruce Mero. But the way would you like I tell you what I am. Me never give up. Me tell them say what you say.
I want to promise you something today. We must fight together, no retreat and no surrender. We must hold them down till the end of time. The most important thing is that we will restore Biafra. May your soul rest in peace. I look up to the sky with tears in my eyes. For other Biafrans and for freedom had to die. We will never forget you as the days go by. You are always in my heart. They fought for our freedom. They died for our freedom. They fought the Nigerian soldiers in the war front without food, without guns. For our freedom, for our life, for our own good, for our children. We love them, our heroes. We want them.
My heart bleeds when I saw them slain. Where will I be now if not then? They will remain indelible in my heart forever, 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 and ever, and ever, and ever.
We serve in your plantation, and the way you paid us back with your bloody starvation. We bled in our history, that the death of my people is a mystery. No going back to get to a victory. I had a voice now call for vengeance. I never get bombed, I'ma blow like a vengeance.
Yo, we will never forget our fallen heroes, those who gave their life for us. Onitsha massacre, Iwata massacre, Aba massacre. We remember you. Alright.
Where will I be now if not you? You died at Mali, 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 Mali.
They were starved to death because of our freedom, and they paid the debt for our freedom. Flag high for those that died in the genocide, fighting for you and I. There is pain in our heart, we bleeding inside, tears in the eyes of our fallen heroes.
This is for my fallen heroes. Give them a motivation, people. It's like I'm looking at myself in the mirror. Cause to be a cast, I need to be a nurse. If we did not retire,
They paid the ultimate price. They died for the freedom of unborn child. We live for the legacy.
Yo, we will never forget our fallen heroes. Onitsha massacre, Iwata massacre, Aba massacre. We remember you. Alright. Yo, we will never forget our fallen heroes. Onitsha massacre, Iwata massacre, Aba massacre. We remember you. Alright.
Yeah, put the flag in the air. Never be afraid. March on, cause we are more than conquerors. Yeah, you know